Cast your minds back to the early days of the Xbox One, where Microsoft was full of talk about the power of the cloud. It was supposed to be a magic internet energy force that would make our games more awesome. Sadly, none of that ever materialised, and now everyone's secretly favourite RPG maker Obsidian has revealed the insane sounding project that Microsoft had asked them to do.
Obsidian, if they need any introduction, is the studio fondly known for their work on games like Fallout New Vegas, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and more recently Pillars of Eternity, were at one time working on an Xbox One
exclusive.
Not only that, it could have been one of the biggest. No, honestly, strap in for this one because Microsoft had some damn ideas. Back when the Xbox One was announced in 2013, part of the pitch was cloud computing. Microsoft kept talking about a 300,000 strong server cloud that could give the Xbox One an edge in performance. Problem was, it was a bit of an abstract idea. What exactly were they talking about? Would it make games look or run better? Wherever it was meant to be, it never materialized, and now we've finally had a rare glimpse inside exactly what was going on through Microsoft's collective minds at the time. More like they had their head in the clouds than anything.
No, seriously, that's fair. Obsidian co-owner and CEO Fergus Urquhart told Eurogamer recently about the kind of game Microsoft had asked them to make. The game was Stormlands, a title which obviously never saw the light of day. Given the codename North Carolina, it was to be an Xbox One launch title and the biggest paycheck Obsidian would ever have cashed. The deal was the largest contract we signed, Urquhart said. They wanted to invest in a developer and IP over the long term. It was an idea Obsidian had knocking around from as early as 2006, and they pitched it to Microsoft titled Defiance, which wasn't related to the actual Defiance by Trion Worlds. Microsoft liked it but said the idea was a little tropish and they wanted Obsidian to reinvent it with some kind of new angle. The studio went all out on the project after that and they made a big pitch, even coming up with a demo working on the Xbox 360.
I wonder whether they thought Horizon Zero Dawn was a bit tropish. They're trying to make their own version of that now, aren't they?
Tropes, yeah, let's complain about tropes until they realise that, oh hang on, tropes make loads of money.
It was a third-person action role-playing game with a camera behind the character. The fighting was super action. Not like Dark Souls, more like The Witcher, Urquhart said. The demo got them the gig with Microsoft. But with huge amounts of work and manpower already placed into the project, Microsoft's big dreams started to cause problems for Obsidian, who of course had to realise those dreams. We were given a proposal, the million-man raid, Urquhart said. Conceptually, what came from Microsoft was this idea. Imagine you're playing The Witcher, maybe with a friend. What happens if at points in time, a giant creature pops up that you can see in the distance, and it's not just popping up while you're playing, it's popping up for everybody who's playing. You all rush this creature and there's a haze around it, and as you're all rushing through the haze, the game is matchmaking you into a 40-man raid, who then are going to fight the creature. Then you fight it, but while the creature is being fought, all the footage is being recorded up into the cloud. And then at the end we would come up with some kind of intelligent editing thing.
Sounds legit.
Intelligent editing thing? Is that what we call Jake?
Don't question genius, Gareth.
We should call Jake the intelligent editing thing, if he had enough intelligence.
Pow!
Can I say that as his boss? Is that just like a harsh burn?
It's a bit mean, I guess.
Intelligent editing thing which would deliver everybody who fought a personalised edited video of their participation in the raid. That is what was proposed to us. We look at something like that and it's like, holy Jesus! Says Urquhart.
So that's kind of a long story, but let's just recap it now quickly. Obsidian went to Microsoft with a game and said, hey, look at this game that we want to make for you. And Microsoft went, yeah, why don't you just make something a little bit better? So Obsidian kind of took that idea and developed it and came up with a demo and everything and tried to make it a bit fresh. Took that to Microsoft, and Microsoft went, look, here's what would be cool, right? Million-man raids. How about that? A co-op game that is also in film or AI-controlled film production suite that gives you your own movie at the end of the adventures. I mean, it's mental, and it's all part of that cloud computing problem with cloud computing for me, where it just seems too abstract. Like, what is the actual good thing here that you're trying to do, and how does it work? You know, a classic example of a guy in a boardroom telling a programmer what to do.
Urquhart commented, holy Jesus, that was his response to their ideas. Like, I mean, if that doesn't tell you something, Obsidian, they know how to make games. Yeah. Like, so they know what they do when it comes to games. Like, I've played many Obsidian games and I love them all. Just the way that they tell a story. You don't have to tell them how to make a game, Microsoft. And I think that's where they went wrong. It was like, yeah, well, we think that's all right. It's a bit tropish.
You know what's not tropish? Million-man raids. It's certainly the kind of thing that sounds like, you know, you read in the description could maybe sweep you off your feet and go, whoa, that sounds amazing, that sounds really incredible, how can I make that happen? But then that's the thing, Obsidian go, yeah, that does sound amazing, I would love that game. We can't make that game for you, but we will try. You know, it's just being a bit too ambitious with the power of cloud computing, which I'm sure is powerful, but not, you know, not a miracle worker, is it? So it's worth pointing out that Obsidian never really took that idea literally, and they never even believed Microsoft that that's what they wanted. They always thought of it as more of an idea that was meant to inspire something a bit more practical. But it doesn't stop there. In the new book from respected games journalist Jason Schreier, Blood, Sweat and Pixels, it's revealed in there that Microsoft wanted Kinect-powered verbal haggling in the game where you negotiate prices with traders. Not quite as exciting as the last thing. Despite all the unrealistic corporate excitement on Microsoft's behalf, Urquhart got a phone call from Microsoft in March of 2012, officially cancelling Stormlands. All that talk about million-man raids powered by the cloud evaporated, and Obsidian, now having made all of the layoffs that it had to make as a result, moved on to doing what it does best, making awesome RPGs.
And Microsoft doing what they do best, cancelling their exclusive games.
Yeah, I mean, it's no joke, it was Scalebound, Fable Legends, and now this, so all three that, you know, could have been great games. They could have been something special for the Xbox, and God knows it needs something special still.
But maybe that's what they did. Maybe that Microsoft imposed some sort of higher, kind of unachievable aim for these games, and that's why they ran into money troubles and were essentially cancelled. Maybe that's what happened with Scalebound, because that went to development hell, didn't it, for a while, and people were taking a lot of time off because of stress or something, and that's why the price of the game ballooned, or the expenses. Maybe Microsoft got involved. Maybe that was the problem. Just leave the developers to it.
They definitely have shown in the last few years that they've learned lessons from the Xbox One launch, and what this kind of stuff is stuff that's emerging, behind the scenes stuff that's emerging, because they made mistakes with the Xbox One kind of publicly, you know, on the PR front and the decisions that they've made there, but also, you know, behind the scenes, obviously they wanted this cloud computing thing that no one really understood and that they didn't really understand, but they still wanted it, and they were throwing loads of money at it, and it just wasn't going anywhere, and they kind of got sidetracked by that rather than just kind of paying studios to make exclusives. How much better would it have been for Xbox and Microsoft if they had just a good Obsidian exclusive RPG? That would have been a better product for them than something that just ends up being cancelled.
Not only that, Obsidian would have been published by Microsoft for years in the future. That would have been an awesome...
What a studio to have.
It would have been brilliant for them, and you would have thought that Microsoft wouldn't be having as many issues as they are now trying to generate these exclusives had they just not gotten involved in the development of Obsidian's game.
So this really is a fascinating story. It gives a good look at what Microsoft was thinking, what was going through their minds at the time, and how seriously they were really taking the cloud computing thing. But if you want the full story, this is just the highlights really. If you want the full story, it's an article on Eurogamer. There'll be a link on your screens right now. Follow that and read it all. It's definitely worth your time. So there you go. Are you disappointed by all this? Would you like to have seen this game realised, or are you glad that Obsidian isn't tied to Microsoft? Let us know what you think down in the comments. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every day. Check out that video right there, which you can watch right now, and there's a link to Patreon if you want to support us and the channel. See you next time.